It all starts with a perfectly ordinary morning. That turns out to be anything but. Doga is young, ambitious, and spoiled in the best possible way. The daughter of a successful businessman named Hulusi, with her eyes firmly set on Paris. She arrives in a mountain region with her best friend for what's supposed to be a carefree trip, picking mushrooms, reading tarot cards, laughing at predictions about unexpected romance. The cards promise a fateful encounter. The girls roll their eyes. But fate, as always, has already made up its mind. During a walk, their dog Samsa falls into a ravine. Doga doesn't think twice. She climbs down after her. That's when Yaman appears. He's a local farmer, quiet, rough around the edges, and clearly not impressed by city girls. Together with a rescue team, he pulls Doga out. The moment is brief, charged with something neither of them wants to name, and they part ways almost arguing. Yaman is blunt. Doga is proud. Both pretend they couldn't care less. Back in the city, Hulusi is dealing with his own storm. A group of former employees from a recently shuttered service company shows up outside his office, angry and demanding answers. Hulusi finds the right words, calms the crowd, but the real confrontation happens at home. He sits his daughter down and says what she hasn't wanted to hear. You play at business, but you don't feel the weight of it. You chase ideas, launch companies on excitement, and walk away when it gets hard. Real people lost real jobs because of you. Doga is furious. She's used to her father being in her corner. But this time, Hulusi doesn't budge. And he gives her an ultimatum. You want a boutique in Paris? Fine. First, prove you know what actual work feels like. 6 weeks on an organic farm. No privileges, no shortcuts, no calling in favors. She agrees, convinced she'll breeze through it and come home with her Paris trip secured. But from the very first morning, nothing goes the way she planned. Because the farm belongs to Yaman's family, and Yaman is waiting. He greets her with barely concealed contempt and hands her the hardest job on the property, laying an entire drip irrigation system across the field by hand, drilling holes every 25 centimeters, dragging hoses across the dirt. I did a field twice this size alone in 3 days, he says, and walks away. Doga is seething. She starts suspecting that Yaman is deliberately making her life difficult, that he's following her, photographing her without permission, reporting back to her father. The tension explodes into a full confrontation. Doga announces she's going back to Istanbul, that the whole thing is off, that no boutique in Paris is worth this. She storms to her car and peels out, nearly crashing on the way. But here's the thing. She actually finished the work. She walked the whole field. She laid the hoses. She drilled every single hole. And Yaman knows it. He just won't say so. Running alongside all of this is a quieter story. It turns out that Yaman's uncle and a local woman named Perihan were once deeply in love, years ago, before life got in the way. Perihan never married anyone else. Now she's calling Hulusi under the pretense of business. Nobody says anything outright, but everyone understands exactly what's happening. And then there's Mert, someone from Doga's past, unexpectedly showing up in the same small region with a construction project of his own. Whether this is coincidence or something else entirely remains to be seen. As for Samsa, the dog who started all of this, she's already made herself perfectly at home on the farm, stretched out like she's lived there her whole life.